games after that, sites really were not announced.
They're out there.
Which, well, there's speculation, but in terms of the date, I don't think they want to announce a date.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing could change in a couple of years.
Sure.
They may get it in place in a couple of years for TV to start it earlier, but we can't have it start earlier because of CES.
Right. So we hope it stays in the same place.
Vegas had turned it down in the past, right?
I don't know if it really turned it down. It was more like we just there's nothing we can
can't do it. There's no point. It's in a window that we can't do it with CES.
Yeah. And 20 I guess there are dates which are later than they are this year, which is kind of crazy. So Miami, Vegas, New Orleans, Tampa, Miami.
Read it again. Miami,
Vegas,
yeah.
New Orleans, Tampa, Miami.
Is Tampa good?
No.
Too much driving too? I feel like there's driving, but the roads aren't as bad.
Well, and
it's not as everything's not as far. Miami feels like everything is so far from other venues.
Well, if you stayed like last year for the Raiders Dolphins, we stayed in South Beach.
Why?
Because we're
okay, because it's cool.
Yeah.
But really, you should stay north.
You should stay
of the stadium.
You should stay in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And for those, like a lot of people think Miami and Fort Lauderdale are right next to each other. They're not.
Oh.
It's two different airports.
Yeah.
They're quite far away, and I think it took us almost an hour to get to the stadium from South Beach. But what I'm saying is most events and like parties and stuff will be in South Beach. And then like a lot of the events will be in Miami at the convention center, which is across the water from South Beach. And then, the game is way out in Miami Gardens.
They would do the Dolphin Stadium for the CFP title game, and the Fan Fest would be nowhere near there.
Well, maybe it'd be in Fort Lauderdale, but that's still, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And with traffic could be even longer than that. So that's why so for people that are, what's wrong with Miami? That's what's wrong with Miami. Logistically, it doesn't make sense because the stadium is so far away. That's what makes sense here. Allegiant's right there by the Strip. New Orleans, you can walk from the French Quarter. You don't have to. It's like 2 miles.
Whoa.
What?
I don't know if you saw this the other day, but our good friend JT the Brick, retweeted a picture of the snow in New Orleans and said, "This is why you need to have every event in Vegas." When I watched it, I'm like, by the way, that snowfall was the biggest snowfall of the first time they've gotten that amount of snowfall since 1895.
Well, you saw
I'm a New Orleans guy. Let's and by the way, the other part of it is the game's inside.
Yeah,
it's weatherproof.
What
did I say?
No, but I was going to say snow possible this weekend in Las Vegas.
Right? I mean, it gets cold here too.
Of course it does.
And it seems to be snowing more now than ever, but every 3 years instead of never.
It's possible this weekend, so that means
I won't get it.
We can't host anything.
One bout of bad weather.
Soha actually, when it snows like in the mountains, there's a chance that it comes down to Soha. So
hence the high part.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get it out there.
Yeah, technically, I guess you live at more. It doesn't feel like your house is at elevation, but I guess yours is higher than mine.
Slightly.
So if I get snow at my house, then it's really snowing.
I might stop and get a shovel on the way home.
You're gonna get a shovel.
Definitely one of those scrapers just to get ready, just in case.
All right. We got let's see. We got Minnie up on the YouTube stream. We're live. Hey, bro. What's up, ma'am or sir?
Hello.
Always like to react. A lot of times it's filth being thrown at us. Threats.
Sometimes when
Brady is always up there.
When I'm not on the show, I'll jump on sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
On her real name or fake?
But nobody ever says hi.
So we were hashing through what this Pete Carroll hire is for the Raiders. And I thought what Diana Rossini, who I think is doing the new, I like this branding. I think she's doing a podcast with Chase Daniel, he's working on it. Scoop City.
Okay.
Which I kind of like. I like embracing and grabbing onto that brand. Scoop City.
Sure.
Because there's so many scoopers now in the NFL.
Okay.
And Rossini's had to fight back against a very evil Aaron Rodgers. Constantly saying she doesn't know anything.
True.
So she was talking about...
Also, Chase Daniels fumbled a lot, and then somebody scoops it and scores.
Oh, wow. Keep that same energy when you see Chase Daniel at the Super Bowl. Keep it. Keep that energy.
Oh.
By the way, my energy has to go against Cam Newton, 6'5", 260. Your energy has to go against Chase Daniel, 5'11", probably 200 pounds.
NFL quarterback. Both NFL
probably has big
quarterbacks.
hands, big mitts to punch you right in the face with a big hand.
Both played the same position.
Give me Rossini on her take on. I don't think she said this is what the Raiders are thinking, but maybe this is what the Raiders are thinking with the hire of 73-year-old Pete Carroll.
Where Pete comes in, straightens it up, cleans up some of the mess that was left behind, gets this thing on the right track. And hey, if he has success with it, great. Let's run this thing out until he's 80. But if he could at least get this thing up on its feet, then maybe in a year or two, the hot coordinator can come in and Brady can go get his guy.
I can't imagine that's what they're actually thinking in the organization. It's not a year or two.
I think it's 3 or 4.
Right. If it's a year or two, then it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we're back to where we just were, where you're looking at a program that's winning 4 and 5 games, and they're like, okay, then I'll tell you what, I will guarantee you, I can't guarantee it, the Raiders will come close to hiring the youngest coach in NFL history at that point.
Yeah, very possible.
Because they like to do the opposite.
Yeah, that didn't work. We'll go the opposite direction.
AP, no experience, kind of young. Pete Carroll, 73. Let's go. 1,000 years coaching.
Sure.
He's going to work out. He's going to stabilize it. We'll have all these questions we can answer over the next, couple of months about quarterback to begin with. So Russell Wilson is a natural tied to Pete Carroll. It sounds like they get along better than they were getting along at the end in Seattle. I did see someone throw out, and Lordy Lord, please, baby Jesus.
A-Rod?
No. Your guy. Praise be. Your guy.
Wait.
It usually, I'm not an expert on LASIK. Give it.
Yes. Okay.
Give it 3 years.
Okay.
And then you're back to your best with your eyes. Lordy.
I'm all for Jameis.
Yes.
I'd be on board immediately.
Jameis as a mentor for a draft pick or a Hendon Hooker type.
Love it.
Jameis in front of Jackson Dart.
Well, I mean, Jameis will be the guy forever.
Jameis in front of Kyle McCord. He likes that stadium.
I was just trying to look at one thing real quick as you're talking. If you want to throw out like one more scenario.
Who's another quarterback, Griffin? Give me another Raiders quarterback who's the year or two guy. Give me a veteran.
Jabbo comes in and he tutors young Justin Fields, the dual threat guy.
You know what? I don't hate it. I
was just making sure on some dates of something real quick.
What are some dates?
It just missed by a year, but John Spytek's tenure in Tampa definitely overlapped with Jameis. He wasn't part of the staff that drafted him, but he did come in his second year.
Okay.
So he's they know each other. He's the director of player personnel at the time.
He's fun.
I'm in.
That's going to be another interesting question here. And I'm going to reference UNLV just on perception, right? So the perception with this last staff was, hey, hard-nosed linebacker, defensive guy, probably not going to be real adventurous with the offense. And Barry Odom goes with, honestly, the first choice was actually a weird choice.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't work out. But go with the go-go offense and Brendan Marion, high-powered offense. Still a lot of run-based. Are they going to be able to get Pete Carroll to absolutely go away from what he really seemed to love in Seattle, which was the run game, and be more aggressive, be a little more high-flying with the offense?
Well, he does. What Pete Carroll likes is obviously a run-based offense, but he likes to push the ball downfield.
They do like deep shots.
He's a big fan of using the run to establish the play action and then take deep shots through that. That's kind of what his preferred offense is based on, and that's Darrell Bevell, and that's what they worked well together. I don't think he's necessarily completely opposed to a different type of system, but that does seem to be what he likes. I mean, he's a defensive-minded guy. He doesn't want to turn the ball over. He does want to create explosives, but it's, use the defense to control the game. Also, number 3 in special teams EPA throughout his 14-year tenure in Seattle.
Well, that's a godsend for you.
Yeah.
Kickers and punters are really important.
Very important. And the Raiders have good
Wipe
ones.
your brow.
Raiders have good ones. And by the way, Raiders have good ones that are going to the last years of their contract. So SpyTech might want to get on that, extension plan.
Coming up on Sunday, you got the noon game with Washington and Philly. Buffalo and KC go at 3:30. That is the semis of the NFL. You can watch both of the games right here at the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar inside Treasure Island.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn a $50 bonus bet on top of your